vegan community is horrible.
I'm sorry, but that's like the worst excuse.
Hi guys, welcome back to the channel.
Welcome back. Today is a response video to HeyParis, and we have had so many requests for this video.
You guys have been hitting us up saying, I want to hear your opinion on Paris's video.
Yeah, so let's give you the backstory first. Paris is a YouTube channel, HeyParis, and she has about 570,000 subscribers, so she's reaching a decent sized audience.
And 2 months ago, she put out a video titled, I went vegan and this is what happened to my body.
It was a great video.
It really was.
Really
we made a response to it as part of a larger mukbang video, and we spoke for about 10 minutes in response to this video, and it was awesome, wasn't it?
It was great. She was having some really wonderful experiences health-wise with a plant-based diet, and she was encouraging her viewers to try it out. And
it was all positive.
Good. It was really, really good. So yeah, it was a really positive response video from us.
Yeah.
And then, unfortunately,
2 days ago, at the time of filming of this video, she put out a video called Why I Stopped Trying to Be Vegan and Trying UK Snacks.
We're going to respond to this as per your requests and try and help Paris out. We've cut up her video. Let's have a listen.
Back by popular demand. Today we are doing a try treats video. I miss these videos so much, guys, and the reason why I haven't been doing these videos anymore is because, as you guys know, I was trying to be vegan.
Paris, you didn't need to stop making these kind of videos, you just needed to change the product line.
Yeah, so if you type in vegan cuts unboxing in YouTube, you will see how many YouTubers have made videos exactly like what you're doing, trying, you know, different types of food. Basically, it's a whole lot of junk food that comes in a box, it's delivered to your door. We've done one ourselves. You can still continue making those kind of videos. As Lucas said, you're just changing what's in the box. So we'll link that down below, vegan cuts, and you can do those kind of unboxings.
I wasn't actually vegan because I still wore fur, I still wore leather, you know, but I was trying to have a plant-based diet.
So Paris did make this distinction in her first video as well, which we acknowledged in our response video.
And that was really important, that she knew the difference and she wasn't kind of like confusing her audience. So that was a really good thing that she said.
And in terms of wearing fur...
And leather.
Oh, and leather, yeah. A lot of non-vegans have been finding this morally abhorrent for decades now, because there's a lot of information out there, a lot of footage that you can just see online, and people don't want to support those cruel industries. So we'll link some information in the description below this video if you haven't already seen why fur and leather are cruel, and they're industries that we don't need to support anymore, and we can buy the vegan alternatives.
I did it strictly for my own health. I didn't do it for the animals, although I do love animals and all that good gravy. That was not the reason I tried to be vegan or have a plant-based diet.
Okay, and that's okay, and Paris did make this very clear in her first video, and I think that honesty is very good. And as we've said previously on this channel, the majority of people actually come to a plant-based diet for health reasons. You know, they change their diet first, they learn about the ethics letter, they make more of a connection, and voila, they're actually vegan. So it doesn't matter why or how you come to a plant-based diet, it's that you actually get there. That's the important thing.
That's right.
It was simply because I was going through some medical issues, and honestly, having a plant-based diet helped my health so much, and I'll continue to eat vegan food, and I'll continue to eat vegetables and stuff like that.
Okay, so that's great that she experienced so many health benefits, but...
As she let everyone know about in her initial video. Yes. But the thing is, those health problems are going to come back, Paris, if you continue eating the foods that caused those problems in the first place. So
if you want to become vegan, I completely understand and think that you definitely should become vegan. It's an amazing experience. You feel so much more energized. There's so many benefits to it.
Okay, that's awesome, you know. Again, we're talking about eating vegan, not becoming vegan. Becoming vegan is not something you kind of turn on and off. We've got a video on that, which we'll link down below. But in terms of promoting eating vegan, Paris has done a great job here.
And I'm so glad that she's giving people this positive feedback still, you know, that she's not kind of going, it was the worst thing ever, my body just, you know, died after a month or something. A lot of other YouTubers do. So it's really good that she's still reinforcing that positive message about eating a vegan diet.
But I'm not on a plant-based diet anymore, but I'm also not eating meats. I don't eat meats right now. I might in the future, but I haven't been eating meat. That's just me. That's just how it is.
Okay. Yeah.
So introduce dairy, drop the meat. The important thing to remember, Paris, is that dairy is actually liquid meat.
Yeah.
Right?
So in many ways, it's actually worse for our health than
Yeah.
red meat, and everybody knows that red meat is terribly unhealthy. So dairy should be one of the very first animal product groups to be cut out of one's diet if one's looking to improve one's health issues, because it is linked to such an array of health issues. Again, we'll link some resources down below so you can read up further on that.
And from the animal's perspective, my God, the dairy industry is the cruelest. It is worse than the meat industry because all dairy cows end up being slaughtered for their meat anyway, but they have to endure years, like 5, 6, sometimes even 7 years of absolute torture before they have their heads chopped off.
And what we're talking about is cows being forcibly impregnated, having their babies stolen, being milked to exhaustion for 4, 5, 6 years, and then ultimately slaughtered for their meat, for cheap grade hamburger meat or pet food.
That's awful.
And many of which are actually slaughtered whilst pregnant, and they have their calves cut out of them, and then the calves are killed. It's just a horrific industry. So we really have to question as a society whether we want to continue to support that type of terrible industry.
So right now I eat cheese and all that dairy stuff and stuff like that.
Paris, the thing is there are vegan alternatives for all of those dairy products. So I guess if we find it really hard to understand why, if you experience such great health benefits from eating a plant-based diet. And one of the things you said is that you had great skin and you were pooping a lot. Remember the pooping conversation?
That was hilarious.
I have the smoothest poops. I just sit down and glop, 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 and I'm done.
Now the thing is, dairy is really bad for your skin. It's strongly linked to acne. So that beautiful glow that you experienced is probably going to go away. And also dairy contains no fiber and it's linked to constipation. So you're not going to be pooping so easily. So why don't you just use vegan alternatives for all the dairy products that you enjoy?
The reason why I stopped trying to be vegan is because honestly the vegan community is horrible.
What?
Paris, this really hurts because we made a video, as we said, responding to your initial video, and we spoke for about 10 minutes and we were incredibly supportive and offering our help and assistance and reached out to you personally, and we never heard from you regarding that, not a thank you guys, I'll be in touch if I need the help. Nothing at all. And now this is the first we hear of your feeling about the online vegan community.
But this is really strange. I think this is probably one of the worst excuses that vegans hear is, oh, I don't like what vegans are like, or the community's this or the community's that, and therefore I don't want to be part of it, so I don't want to be vegan. I'm sorry, but that's like the worst excuse. That's not, that's just like scraping the bottom of the barrel.
It is, because there are 7.5 billion people on this planet, and we've got nice non-vegans and not so nice non-vegans, and the same goes with vegans. People are just people.
That's right. And the other question we had is, what community is Paris talking about? Who exactly? Are you talking about vegans online? Because vegans online are as divided as any other group of people offline. People are just people, regardless of how we live and what we eat.
I apologize if you're vegan and you're not in that category with the people that I'm talking about, but I would go into restaurants and I'd ask questions and people would look at me like I'm stupid. Like I'd be like, oh, instead of chicken, since it's called chicken and waffles on your menu, what is used? And they look at me like, you're not vegan? Like, so why are you here? It's like, wow, I can't just go to a vegan restaurant and eat some food? Like, what's the issue?
I've never ever heard that reaction from a vegan towards a non-vegan before when the non-vegan's ordering vegan food. That just sounds incredibly weird, because every vegan seeing a non-vegan order a vegan dish is enthusiastic. If they're not, what's wrong with them? I mean...
But it sounds like, to be honest, we had to rewatch this part of the video a few times because we didn't really understand. It sounds like she's talking about the waiter or the waitress mocking her for asking what's the vegan chicken made of.
Yeah, that's how I interpret it.
Is that right?
Well. Yeah.
Which is beyond ridiculous. Like, if that happened...
Why would they do that?
Well, they're either just a really shitty waiter and person, and they're not doing a very good job at their job. But they would get asked that question all the time. I mean, as vegans, we ask that, like, what is this made of? This tastes exactly the same. What's in it? That's not something that should be laughed at or mocked. Like it just doesn't happen, Paris. I'm so sorry, but just kind of
we've eaten out at vegan restaurants for 6.5 years all around the world, and we ask questions all the time, and we've never had that kind of reaction.
And even if it did happen, that is not a justification to continue eating animals, right? Just because somebody is a shitty person or a shitty waiter doesn't justify you saying, oh, well, I'm throwing it all in, I'm going to go back to eating animals. That's not a moral justification.
And I would ask people online and they would give me attitude and be like, I can't deal with the vegan community. People are so rude. They don't want to help you.
Don't want to help you. Now, this is like, are you serious? Again, when you talk about vegans online, we are quite divided.
And diverse, just as any group of non-vegans is.
You're
and they're really political and religious and many different outlooks on life.
And just their general character, not all of us walk around like unicorns licking lollipops. Some people are going to be angry and shitty, and some people are going to be a different kind of character. But again, this doesn't justify going back to eating animals.
No. Now, in terms of helpful, I mean...
Hello! Hey!
Because, I'm not sure how many other vegan YouTubers reached out to you and made a helpful video as we did. And, certainly perhaps not with the size platform we have.
Yeah.
And, you just sort of didn't,
we didn't
say
hear anything from
and now this is the first we hear about vegans online not being helpful.
Let's take a look. We're going to play a clip of our previous video to Paris just to see exactly how we ended the 9 or 10 minute segment to her.
So overall, Paris, super happy that you're enjoying this way of eating, and she said she wants to keep it up. She's really feeling great, so that's really
such
good.
Such a positive, glowing review, and she looks glowing too.
She looks great. So again, we'll link a heap of resources down below. If you have any questions, feel free to ask.
Yeah.
We've also got a great video on how to transition to a vegan diet.
Yep.
That could be helpful for you. There you go. So good on you, Paris.
Well done.
And to our viewers, go over and send us some love. Let her know about this video.
Yes.
Awesome.
Helpful, positive, loving.
Encouraging our viewers to go and give you love and support and offer any help.
So I'm not sure where this negativity online has come from. Now, what I do know, we have experienced this ourselves on our platform, there are a lot of people online that pose as vegans and leave really shitty comments and are really negative and are just like awful.
In order to make vegans
have
as
a
a whole
reputation,
look bad, and so then non-vegans considering a vegan lifestyle look at that poor behaviour online and think, oh, well, I don't want to be part of that if that's what vegans are like.
Exactly.
So there are a lot of non-vegans posing as
doing
vegans.
That. And I just think it's a stereotype and it's very easy to buy into that, but if you actually focus on the positive and those that are trying to help, and so the thing
it's
is...
kind of like harness the good, block the bad.
That's it.
But,
that's
we didn't see any harnessing of the good.
No,
it
that's
was
right.
just, all focused on the bad.
And the people that would have come from our channel over to Paris's channel to give her, some positive feedback or help her out or just say hi, they would have been coming from our positive video with a positive message. So I don't know where these negative vegans have come from because I don't know how many vegans were following you in the first place, Paris. So... yeah, we're just a little confused.
And it's like, if you want to save the world and save these animals, why are you being rude to people who are trying to do the same thing as you?
Again, who are these people? Do you have any receipts? Tell us, give us examples. And even if you had an onslaught of horrible, mean, aggressive, awful vegans,
it still wouldn't morally justify continuing to pay others to needlessly murder animals.
That's right, because YouTuber to YouTuber, Paris, my goodness. Girl, until you are a vegan YouTuber talking about ethics, you don't know what hate is. Trust me, we get an onslaught of just the most awful
rape
things.
threats, death threats, all kind of things.
It gets bad. But do we throw it in? No. Do we say, oh, well, what would we do then if we don't want to be like meat eaters? I guess that would make us vegan, wouldn't it? So I was doing a good job. Whatever. The point is, we all receive a lot of criticism and hate online, but you still have to do what's right.
So it's like, what's the point of me even trying to be vegan if I can't get help from anyone? And I understand that there are people out there who would be willing to help me become vegan, but at this point it's like, no, like a majority of the vegan community, I can't deal with y'all. Y'all are just, I can't do it.
You haven't dealt with the majority of the
sounds
vegan
a
community
bit
now.
like-
This is like
it's like a cop out, isn't it?
stretch.
Yeah, it's
Really.
long bow to draw.
Yeah. So yeah, people did reach out to you to
We
help
were there
you.
2
Again,
months
hello.
ago
We
when
said
you made
if
your
you
video.
have any problems, any questions, if you need any help, reach out to us. Now, we're not saying that we're a vegan authority or anything like that. Of course, you can ask for help from anyone.
But we have been vegan 6.5 years. We've been on YouTube as vegan YouTubers for almost 4 years now. We have a relatively large platform.
We did reach
So-
out to you, so it begs the question, why are you going to other people, or why are you taking on board other attitudes
and
when
ignoring
you-
the help that has been offered to
Yeah,
you.
you could have just come to us and said, hey guys, I'm struggling with this, or how do you deal with that, or whatever. You know, we said we're here for you. So again, harness the good, block the bad. And at the end of the day, whatever negativity you did receive, they're just words. They're words.
And
you
they
know,
could,
that come
as
and
we said
go.
before, be from trolls posing as vegans.
Yes. What we do, our actions are so much more important than the words that people say to us or type to us. So we do have to keep that into consideration, because there are innocent victims in this scenario. Those animals, they don't get to have a say. They don't get to say, oh, well, it's okay, Paris had some negativity thrown her way, so my life can be cut short because she's having a hard time on YouTube. No.
Like maybe one day I'll break it down to you, like all the things that people said to me and stuff like that when I was trying my best to eat a plant-based diet.
Well, this video would have been a great time, Paris. The receipts here, you know, this is the appropriate time. Not maybe one day in the future.
No.
If you're going to make these sort of bold, overarching statements about generalizations, then you've got to back it up.
Yeah, but even if
Even
you did
if-
provide the receipts and did back it up, it still doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Whatever someone says to you does not justify needlessly taking someone else's life.
I was like, this is not a community I want to be a part of.
That's fine. You don't have to be part of a vegan community.
You can just still live a vegan lifestyle or eat a vegan diet and not be part of a community.
And again, I don't know what community
Yeah,
she's
it's a very
talking about.
broad general term, isn't it?
Yeah,
You know,
I mean-
communities are full of diverse individuals with differing opinions and perspectives on many different issues.
Are we part of a vegan community? I don't know. We don't really interact. I don't know. We do our thing.
Is there a non-vegan community?
Yeah.
You know?
As you said, you don't have to be part of any kind of group to do the right thing. You be your little vegan in your little vegan world, and you don't have to interact with anyone. But your actions are more important than any other social group that you're part of.
Like, even though I know you can be vegan without being a part of the vegan community, at the end of the day, I wanted to be able to relate with people and talk to people about the things that I'm eating and stuff like that. And I wasn't able to do that. So I was like, what is the point of me even trying to do this if there's no one supporting me? I might as well just eat my cheese and everything else that I was eating before other than meat and live my life.
Terrible excuses, Paris. We were here. We were offering the help and support, as were our viewers that came over. And, you know, you focused on the bad comments or the trolls or what have you. And it's not your cheese. You know, that cheese was made with the milk that was intended for a baby calf that was kidnapped, killed, and then, you know, its mother went through all that suffering, and then she was ultimately killed. It's her flesh. It's the baby's milk. It's not our cheese.
No.
If we want to have cheese, let's make it out of plants. You know, we're herbivorous animals by physiology, anatomy, biochemistry. So the plants were there for us, not the animals.
It's better for the environment, it's better for the health, it's obviously better for the animals. There is no excuse, and this is one of the worst excuses we've ever heard. Great to hear that you acknowledge that, well, I don't have to technically be part of the vegan community, whatever that means, to eat a plant-based diet, so you should have stuck with that. And the other thing is...
That's just like saying, oh, I met some really aggressive protesters at a Yulin Dog Festival protest, and they were getting all up in arms and all, and I'm like, screw that, I might as well go back to supporting the Chinese and the Koreans and let them live their lives eating dog meat if they want to.
That's right. That's right. You don't be vegan or eat a plant-based diet for anyone else, like for other people. It doesn't matter what other people, how they come across to you, whether you like them or not. You're doing it for the animals, for the planet, for your health. They're the things you focus on.
And they're all that matter.
That's it.
Other people's opinions and words.
And their character, what they're like, it doesn't
irrelevant.
matter.
Like, I didn't have no time. Like, y'all are just rude. Like, so rude. Not all of y'all. I met some really nice vegans, but most of y'all just turned me off to the entire situation altogether. Like, seriously.
More dismissive generalizations. It's They just sort of don't hold up morally speaking.
No,
It's very wishy-washy.
It doesn't matter what someone's character is like. You have to do what's right.
What matters is your character and your conscience
That's
and
right.
your actions and your behaviour out there in the world. Are you helping or hindering the lives of other animals, other people, your own health, the health of the environment?
I mean, let's face it, the human species, we're kind of like on the shitty end of the scale, you know? We're not all super great, we don't do a lot of good things, we're destroying the planet.
If our species were to disappear, all the other species on the face of this earth would benefit.
Yeah, you know, we're not great. Now, just because we're not great and we may not like every single person on the planet, doesn't mean we can justify going out and committing mass murder, does it? You know, I don't like humans, so I can shoot them all up. No, you would never justify that. So just by saying, well, I don't like some nasty vegans out there, doesn't justify you being non-vegan and contributing to the slaughter of trillions of animals and the destruction of the planet.
It reminds me of that saying, being vegan just means I'm trying to suck a little less.
And on top of that, when I tweeted about it, people were getting mad that I'm not vegan anymore. There are plenty of non-vegan people in this world. Why are you mad at me for trying?
Because
People
your
aren't-
excuses weren't morally justified.
Well, people aren't mad at you for trying to be vegan.
That's
People
right.
were mad at you because you stopped trying to be vegan. There's
Yeah,
a big
based on-
difference there.
Excuses that aren't really morally justifiable.
No, and I think people get...
Well, they're not. They're not.
Exactly. People get worked up about this, or vegans get worked up about this, because when someone has a big platform like you do, Paris, and you
That's
were
the thing.
on the path, you knew some things, then it's like you just jumped off that path.
And you're giving a green light to everyone else who might want to try a vegan diet and lifestyle in the future, the green light to just give it up if they meet some people, some vegans that they don't agree with.
Like you
or
have
whatever.
influence, you know, and like once you know, you have a moral obligation to act. So you were on the path of researching and learning
the
and
thing.
knowing what happens in the world, and like you can't just ignore that and put your
No.
head back in the sand.
I can't do it. Like, I'm just done. I'll eat whatever the hell I want to eat, okay?
No, it's not whatever the hell you want to eat. We're talking about the lives of innocent, defenseless, sentient beings who have families, desires to live. They can experience emotions, joy, pain, the ability to suffer.
This is why we were emphasizing the need to educate yourself about the ethical side of veganism. It's not what you're eating, it's who you're eating. Once you understand that, it all changes. So we understand that you came to it for health reasons, and that's totally fine, but you do have to learn about the ethics.
Yeah.
Otherwise, this attitude of whatever, what the hell, I'm just going to eat it, that is not okay.
Yeah.
We're talking about trillions of lives being taken needlessly.
That's right.
It's got to stop.
Exactly. As soon as your food choices involve somebody else, and these are individuals, they're someones, they're not some things, they're not objects, they're not stock. They are someones. And once your food choices begin to involve the life of someone else, it ceases to be a personal choice. So that's why we can't just eat whatever we want. And also, from an environmental standpoint, animal agriculture is one of the leading causes of greenhouse gas emissions, climate change, global warming, deforestation, ocean dead zones, water pollution, all of those nasty things. So on the planet that we all co-inhabit. So everybody's food choices are affecting everybody else, as we say all the time. So there's really no such thing as a personal choice when it comes to our food choices.
But I'll definitely say that eating a plant-based diet has helped my health tremendously and helped my skin as well. A lot.
And that is all going to change very, very quickly, unfortunately, when you reintroduce something like dairy. It's going to go south. And if you have a look at the type of foods that Paris was showing in the unboxing, the rest of her video, you know, it's just it's junk. It's chocolate, dairy junk. That is not going to make you feel great. That is not going to do anything good for your skin.
No. To be fair, if Paris were to continue to want to eat that kind of stuff, the vegan versions wouldn't necessarily be healthy products.
Yep.
They would be healthier
Yes.
when compared to the very unhealthy animal products. However, they still don't involve taking someone else's life.
Yes, and they're not as bad for the environment either. So if you want to eat that junky food and do those junky unboxing videos, which we've done one as well, do the vegan version.
And I'm sure there's gonna be a bunch of hating ass vegans in the comments as well. So hello, welcome to my channel.
It's just, we've got a really negative vibe
It's
here.
a bit antagonistic.
It is, and I kind of feel like Paris is setting this up like she wants an excuse out of it. This is just our little conspiracy theory, right? This is what we're feeling. I feel like she wants a way out of eating a plant-based diet, and I feel like she's kind of gone, okay, what's something that everyone online goes, yeah, those vegans. Let's go with the negative, mean, rude vegans.
And so
right?
if I can provoke and antagonize them and elicit the kind of response that I'm claiming that I received, even though I'm not showing any receipts, whilst I was trying to eat a vegan diet, then they'll prove me.
Yeah, they
right.
go, see, she was right. There's a mean comment there. But
what about all the help that
the positivity.
we and other vegans offered you, and the love and support and encouragement?
And I just want to mention the pinned comment that Paris had put under her video.
So she writes, so to sum it all up, I tried being vegan, well, with the fur and leather, obviously not. You tried eating vegan, yes. Just didn't end up being for me. Vegans I was in contact with were rude and discouraging. Why didn't you contact us? We put it out there. And the comment section is sure to prove my point, and this is what we were saying before, with all the negativity and hate certain vegans are going to have to say about me as soon as I upload this video.
And it's like you're just calling it on, like you're like, come and bring it and create what I'm saying so I can justify, yeah.
Frustrating.
It is frustrating.
Disappointing.
Yeah.
We're still here for you, Paris.
Yeah,
It's never too late to change, to try again.
I don't
It's all about
know.
the education. It's all linked below. We linked it below, to be fair, in our previous video.
There's nothing more we can do. I think this is a great example of when someone wants to do it, they're going to do it. And if someone doesn't want to do it, they're going to come up with whatever BS excuses and justify anything to get out of it, right? We get the feeling, this is what we were thinking, we were talking about this before recording. We've just come off the holiday season, right? So we had Christmas, New Year, there's lots of festivities, lots of dinners and people getting together and parties. It can be a challenging time for vegans, especially for new vegans.
Yes.
Now, if you've just switched to a plant-based diet, which is what happened with Paris like 2 months ago, she was still very new. I think she may have been under a lot of pressure. I think it may have just been too overwhelming. She may have been tempted because she didn't have the ethics behind her. She wasn't doing it for animals. And therefore it's like, oh, this is too hard, stuff it. I'm just gonna eat what I want to eat because it's Christmas and I'm surrounded by all this food and all these people and I don't want to get into it.
Maybe the negativity was coming from other non-vegans, who weren't approving of Paris's new dietary choices, and maybe we're giving her a hard time about it, giving her a bit of stick, a bit of flack.
So we kind of think that maybe this all came about because of the time of year rather than anything that was really happening online. We could be wrong, we're just speculating, but that's what we're kind of assuming because it's, December, January time.
And in case it was that, we're going to link some resources down below to help vegans through, it's called a holiday survival guide, one of the videos, how to eat out as a vegan, how to be vegan in a non-vegan household, all of those common questions and scenarios that new vegans have.
To sum up, there is plenty of help and resources and positive people and supportive people and everything that you need online is there. You just have to want it.
Harness the good, block the bad.
Yeah. To Paris, we hope you're watching this. We hope you rewatched the first video if you didn't watch it at all.
We're still here for
We're
you
here.
now as we were for you 2 months ago.
Exactly. So don't throw it all in. Just think about it, get the education and reconsider what you're doing.
It's like throwing the baby out with the bathwater.
Yes.
That's the expression that comes to mind.
Yeah.
Hang on to that baby because actual babies' lives are depending on it. Like, share, comment, subscribe. And remember until next time that going vegan is not the most we can do.
It's the least we can do. See you next video.
Bye guys.